Hello everyone, Professor Marcel Rominger here. In this video we're going to talk about the different types of notes and rests that exists in music. Okay, let's take a look at some of the different notes and rests that exist in music. So notes, the different types of notes, have rhythmic value to them. Some are more beats, some are less beats. And for every single note that we talk about, there is a corresponding rest. The notes tell us that we have to create sound. There has to be some kind of music being made by sound. The rest tells us that we have to create silence. So here's the first note. This is a quarter note. As you can see, quarter note is one beat. It's just filled in with a stem. Here is a quarter rest. The quarter rest, like the quarter note, is also one beat. This note, which is not filled in and has a stem, is known as a half note. It is 2 beats. And of course, here is the half note rest, or the half rest. Then we have this note, which has no stem. It is not filled in. This is known as a whole note. It is 4 beats. So a great way to remember this is this note takes up the whole measure. All right, so if you have 4/4 meter, you can't fit any other notes or rests once you use this notes. This is a whole rest, which is also 4 beats. This rest can also be used as a placeholder. So regardless of the meter, 2/4, 3/4, 4/4, this rest is used to let us know that the entire measure is supposed to be silent. Now here we have eighth notes. These are all the same note. The note on the left is a single eighth note, which consists of a flag attached to the stem. On the right, we see what happens when the eighth notes are paired together. The flags join together and creates this bar up on the top. So that's how we know we have eighth notes. The eighth notes themselves, each individual eighth note is half a beat. So you can think of 2 eighth notes as sharing a beat. Here we have an eighth rest, which is also half a beat. Now we're subdividing the beat even further. So as you notice that the difference between this note and the eighth note is that on the left we have a double flag, and on the right the notes are joined together by a double bar. These are known as 16th notes. Each individual 16th note is a quarter of a beat, which means that we need 4 16th notes to create one beat. Here's the 16th note, 16th rest, which looks like an 8th note rest but is doubled. So we could divide the beat even further into 32nd notes, 64th notes, and it keeps going on and on. But these are the most commonly used notes that you will see in music. So here is my staff. As you can see, I have 4 measures. Each measure is filled with whole note rest, which means it's 4 beats of rest. It means that each measure is meant to be silent. There's no music there. I have my treble clef at the beginning, and right here is my meter or my time signature. I look at the top number to tell me how many beats are supposed to be in every measure. So 4/4 means there's 4 beats per measure, and I can divide this measure any way that I want, and I can use any different combination of notes. So let's start with a half note, followed by a quarter note. So far that's 3 beats, 2 plus 1 is 3, and 2 eighth notes. Now as you can see, the notes are falling and rising. So that has to do with pitch. So as the notes go down, the pitch goes down. As the notes go up, the pitch goes up. So the pitches are G, E, G, and B. But the different types of note tell me how many beats each note is. So for instance, the first note, the half note, is 2 beats. So I know that I have to hold that for 2 beats. The next note is a quarter note, E, that's 1 beat, and then the 2 eighth notes, each are half a beat each. So this equals 4 beats. Can't have more, can't have less. So why don't we keep going? There's a quarter note rest, which means beat 1 of the second measure is silent. Then we have 4 16th notes. And then we have a quarter note A, followed by a quarter note G. So in this measure, or in these two measures, I've kind of written a nice little melody here. I could keep going just as long as I make sure that I write it rhythmically correct. When discerning rhythmic value from notation, it is very important to remember that every single one of these notes can be subdivided into two smaller notes. For example, this whole note that you see in front of you can be subdivided into two smaller notes, which are half notes. Each half note is equal to 2 beats. Then we take the half note, which is equal to 2 beats, and we can subdivide that into 2 quarter notes. Each quarter note is equal to 1 beat. Then we can take the quarter note and we can subdivide that quarter note into 2 smaller eighth notes. Each eighth note is equal to half a beat. In this picture, you see single eighth notes as well as 2 eighth notes barred together. Next, we take that eighth note and we can subdivide that eighth note into 2 16th notes. By doing this, we start with a very even and logical system of rhythm. Okay, for this quick check, you have to tell me the name of this note and how many beats it gets. So pause the video while you think about it, and when you get the answer, unpause it. Ready? Go. Did you get the answer? If you said eighth note, then you are correct. And if you said that this eighth note is worth half a beat, you are also correct. Okay? Now, if you got a little confused, that's okay, because usually eighth notes, when they are together, we bar them kind of like this. Okay? Oops, I didn't connect that very well. So this is the way eighth notes look like when they are barred together. But when they're by themselves, they look like this. All right. Did you get the answer out? If you got the answer correct, you pass this quick check. If not, you got to go back, study those notes again. All right.